Thursday, September 5th, 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice sent out a press release titled 5 Russian GRU officers, 1 colonel, and 4 lieutenants, and 1 Russian civilian charged for conspiring and enacting to hack the Ukrainian government and other NATO countries, including the United States. In the press release, we read that an unsealed federal indictment by a Maryland district court charged 6 Russian individuals of the GRU's 161st Specialist Training Center, or more commonly known as Unit 29155, of computer system abuse back in 2021 and in early 2022 in preparation for the Russian military action in Ukraine that started on February 24th, 2022. This hacking campaign is commonly known as WhisperGate, which is named after the malware to wipe and destroy all those critical systems. So this is the first video in a series meant to dissect WhisperGate. Today's episode 1, will focus on who are the hackers involved, the timeline of the events, and the indictment itself. Let's get into it. The indictment. We scroll down here in the indictment, we find here on page 2 exactly who is involved, and it gives the names of these 6 individuals. Luckily, the lovely FBI gives us pictures as well as the names of these hackers. So first off, we have the commanding officer, the colonel, who is over this group, and that is Yuri Fyodorovich Denisov. Then we have Lieutenant Vladislav Yevgenyevich Borovkov, Lieutenant Denis Igorovich Denisenko, Lieutenant Dmitry Yurovich Galushabov, and Lieutenant Nikolai Alexandrovich Korchagin. Lastly is the Russian civilian Amin Timovich Stigal. Who is this Unit 29155? It's also known as the 161st Specialist Training Center of the GRU. Again, the GRU is the Russian military's intelligence agency arm. If you go back in the news, you can find that the New York Times back in 2019 started to reveal who this could be. They were attributing destabilization actions in Moldova, as well as the other actions in Bulgaria, and the attempted assassination of a prior spy who moved to Britain. You probably remember all of that. Well, all of those actions were attributed to Unit 29155. But it's interesting to note that all of their prior actions over the past 15 years, per the New York Times, have been more kinetic. This guy is the guy who set up, supposedly, the communication between the hackers and the servers to be able to host the malware scripts and pull down those scripts to the affected systems in order to wipe them and destroy them and exfiltrate any data that the hackers wanted or needed in order to sell on the markets. December 2020 is when Stigal, the civilian, started creating accounts on Company 1's servers, according to the indictment. For the purpose of use in the conspirators' attacks, Company 1 provided a messaging and VoIP platform which had servers located in the United States. The indictment never specifically states who Company 1 is. You have to go to the Joint Cybersecurity Advisory Alert by CISA to find that information. So let's go over there right now. In there, you will find within the indicators and the TTPs, there were some post requests that were recorded and shared within this report. Well, in those post requests, which contain command injection payloads, you can see where these malware scripts were being pulled down from. The hackers are putting it into the GET request itself to reach out to specific servers. So if you look into what BT Connect is going to be the email domain that is used for the clients, business clients, and consumers. And you can see here they do provide the cloud voice option for collaboration as well, and for file storage, which is exactly what was used. Going back to the post event, what they did was pass, you can see this string here as well, which is Latvian for login. run it through a decoder and then translate that. Anyways, if you continue to look through the report, you will find these other strings for BT Connect that seems to denote that company 1 hosting the malware scripts with servers in the United States is BT.com. Further on page 10, we see that it describes WhisperGate as a 2-stage malware program. The first stage wipes the master boot record from each targeted computer. The MBR is going to allow the OS to be loaded on boot. Stage 2 sends a GET request to one of those BT.com or other servers to pull down those malware scripts or whatever they want to be using for a foothold, lateral movement, exfiltration, wipe, and destroy. Like I mentioned in the beginning, the majority of this indictment is all about providing pretext and context of what happened in Ukraine as a reason to put forth this indictment. But what really matters to me is what is being targeted at the United States. And we can see here, it's all the way down on page 12. It's very, very small. But we do get to see what they did try to do to us here. We can see that from August 5th, 2021 to about February 3rd, 2022, these hackers were probing public-facing websites hosted by servers and systems located in Maryland by a U.S. government agency. And this was done 63 times. How that's counted, I don't know. But we do see that it was a government agency in Maryland. Who is this agency? Again, they don't state in the indictment of who this could be, but if we do a little sleuthing, right, just very basic stuff here. Federal installations in Maryland. I doubt that these Russian hackers, in preparation for a military campaign in Ukraine, was worried about taking down Medicare and Medicaid service here in America. Doubt it. My top pick is US Cyber Command. Reasoning: they were probably looking for any intelligence gathered by Cyber Command or sent to Cyber Command showing what actions this group has taken so far, and if the US knows what they are doing or about to do in Ukraine in preparation for war. Second aspect could be after infiltration and they see that there is intelligence, they could also look at what the intentions are of the United States once the kinetic actions start to be undertaken. Again, just my theory. Don't take it as doctrine. There's this part here that talks about the meeting of conspirators at Cafe Shokolovnitsa. It says that back in April and May of 2023, these hackers all met at a cafe there in Moscow to talk about presumably the hacks they had done and possibly any upcoming attacks that might be taking place since they are a team. Funny enough, you could go to Yandex Maps and find that exact cafe here at this mall, Sofia. And you can see here's Shokolovnitsa Cafe. And I doubt they were sitting outside in April and May. It'd still be pretty cold in Moscow. But, you know, you can imagine these hackers meeting up there over coffee talking about their hacks. Another funny side note, if you try searching for these hackers' names, so this is for that Lieutenant Borovkov, if you try searching for their names on Yandex, you get this little... I mean, you don't find the pictures, and you don't find their profiles, but you are given this little notification at the very top that says some of the links are absent in the results, in the research results, because it's required by legislation. So yeah, they definitely took that stuff down after it started coming out that these individuals were tied to the GRU. Another interesting contextual side note, Unit 29155 and its actions in WhisperGate back in 2021-2022. They are also known as Ember Bear, according to CrowdStrike. They give all of the different names of the Russian actors and different units by some bear nomenclature, and this group is specifically known as Ember Bear. All right, in conclusion, and as a recap, for the actions of these hackers, Unit 29155, and how they pertain to the United States, we see that in August 2021, that they started probing and scanning publicly facing servers of a US agency located in Maryland. Again, my guess is US Cyber Command. I don't know who it is, but that's my theory. They were looking for vulnerabilities that they could then exploit, infiltrate those servers, set up a foothold, start conducting reconnaissance and lateral movement, and possibly gather more intelligence from that agency. Or they might also have been looking to destroy US infrastructure as well, in order to bog us down with looking to bring systems back up and repair systems here while they are conducting the attacks in Ukraine, so that way we can't help them. Either way, according to this indictment, it looks like those didn't work. So props to this agency for keeping their servers up to date, up to snuff, and keeping the bad guys out. Good job. All right. In the next video, we are going to be looking at the CISA Joint Cybersecurity Advisory Alert, which is put together by CISA, FBI, and the NSA. And we will show exactly how it was done and provide a virtual environment and give you a little bit of an example. After that video will be another video looking specifically at the WhisperGate malware. We will analyze it and show how it works. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Have a great day, and God bless.